we have an article from Mortgage Banker Association. Mortgage applications actually increased in the latest MBA weekly survey at a time of year historically where you would see a decline in mortgage applications. The increase was only 1% on the purchase side. Refinances are up 85% year over year, and the 30-year fix sits at a lowest level since April of last year. I see optimism in the fact that we had the 1% increase week over week because it's end of the summer and a lot of people don't pay attention to this stuff. And so what's driving that? And do you expect more if the 30-year continues to move down, even into a fall season where you typically see a decline?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I was taking a look at the graph of the rates over the last 12 months. It looks like, according to Mortgage News Daily, rates have been under 7% since July 10th. We've had 4 weeks of declining rates on average. And, it was interesting. There was a comment from the chief economist at the Mortgage Bankers Association in their press release. He stated that despite rates going down for 4 weeks, we really haven't seen a big increase in purchase applications for people actually buying a home. And he attributed that to saying that folks were staying patient now that rates were going down and there's some more inventory. I don't know how much of that is patience and to your point, this being August. August is historically kind of a quiet month in the mortgage business. A lot of people are on vacation. A lot of people are busy, this week getting used to the new school schedule again. I know my kids went back to school this week. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in September when people get back into a regular schedule. Summer vacations are over. School is up and running again. I mean, the rates are attractive. I'll tell you one story that happened to me this week. I did a pre-approval. I took an application on Monday night and they made an offer. I sent the pre-approval Tuesday morning. They made an offer around noon on Tuesday. And then at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, they had a signed contract, accepted offer, all within 24 hours.
Wow.
And that hasn't happened to me in a long time. Like, that used to be a regular occurrence, but we were under 7% from December of 2023 to about March before it went up over 7% again. And there was a lot of pre-approvals during that time. And most folks were not buying a house within 24 hours. They were some of them didn't buy a house at all because it was so competitive at that time. So that's what we're seeing. The 85% increase in refinances, it doesn't mean there's a ton of people refinancing.
Yeah,
because there was nobody. So it doesn't take much to double it when nobody was refinancing a year ago.
When nobody's refinancing and then one person raises their hand, that's a double up.
Some people are. So I do have some refinances, kind of in the pipeline. So, I think I have 20 loans I'm working on right now, and 3 of them are refinances, whereas a year ago it would have been maybe 1 or 0. So what I'm seeing with the refinances is a lot of times it's folks that have wanted to refinance for a while and they were waiting for rates to come down and now they're jumping on it. Like somebody who's getting divorced or somebody who bought a property with cash and then to get some of their money back. So that's what we're seeing.
So here's the deal. We had been talking about, a slight increase, but really, to your point, Brian, not a huge increase on purchase applications, even though rates are at the lowest level since April of 2023. Had a week over week 1% increase at a time of year when you do typically see a decline. I think there's one other thing that's really holding us back. I mean, Brian's talking about the fact that the 30-year fix has been, since July now under 7%. So we're in the sixes and we're, even in the, under 6.5 now, it seems like for a couple of weeks anyways. I believe that we really got to get to in the 5s to really free up the market of sellers who would be buyers. Okay. Like, you're going to sell to go buy a house. You don't sell to go homeless. So there's a lot of folks that want to sell, that do want to make a move, that aren't in the perfect house for them, but they're in a perfect rate. They're in a 3% rate. And so the gap's got to get still a little bit closer together to really free up a lot of the market. Wells Fargo just came out with a forecast. Yeah. And Wells Fargo just came out with a forecast that it looks like now that the Fed is pivoting, the 30-year fixed, their new updated projection, which it was over 6 just a month ago. Now they have it down to 5.8 in Q2 on the 30-year. So getting us down to about 5 and almost 3/4 range. This is a projection. Those projections change month to month based on which way the wind's blowing and all of that. But if that were to take place, I see a spring market next year where there's a lot more movement in the market. Well, last time, what happened when the Fed started to pump money into the system, there was a rush to assets. Asset prices went up. You would see that. I think right now is a perfect buying season because the rates have come down and there's opportunities there. If that were to take place in the spring, there's going to be more competition. But here's the big reason why I think, we just haven't seen, even though the rates are the lowest level since April of last year, enough movement. It's how many mortgages are below 6% right now. Here are some numbers. 85.7% of mortgaged U.S. homeowners have a rate below 6%. Now that's down from the record 93% in 2022, because from 22 till now, there's obviously been accumulation of higher mortgages and so forth. But you've got almost 86% of all mortgaged U.S. homeowners have a rate below 6%. Below 5%, 76% of mortgaged U.S. homeowners have a rate below 5%. Also down from a record 85% in 22. Below 4% on their fixed mortgage rate, that's 57.4% of mortgaged homeowners with a rate below 4%, also down from a record of 65% in 22. And then below 3%, there's 22%. So almost 1 out of every 4 mortgaged homeowners have a rate below 3%. I mean, that's the group it's going to be hard to move. But the below 5s and below 4s, you get with a 5 handle, they have a need to move. The rate's not going to become the obstacle anymore once it gets to that level.